Hello, this is Bobby from Copel TV Repair with a video today dedicated to Samsung UN50H6203 that starts with a dark image. This one is already laying upside down. Disassembled. I'm going to show you on the back. Since it starts with a dark image, it's natural to assume that the problem is in the T-cone, and I have seen a few T-cones replaced and it doesn't help. I'm going to give you a few hints. I'm not going to tell you how to fix it because frankly I'm not sure that this is a reliable fix, but I've seen a few of those TVs with the same issues, which tells me that there will be more of them. So what I'm going to tell you to do is this. This TV is currently laying with the top up. You don't have to get to that point unless you want to. You would normally just take the back cover and have it laying on its face as you normally do. And you see the two strips for the T-cone. And what I would tell you to do is just remove one of them at a time. Just leave one of them. You can do it on the T-cone side because you don't have access to here normally. But on the T-cone side, you will just disconnect one of them and then turn the TV on, and what you're helping to get is half the screen showing properly. The other half will be either dark or whitish with some strips and something. And if you get half of it, half of the screen working fine and the other half not working properly, and that's not universally true for any LCD TV. It works for many, but it doesn't work for all. So this is how you're going to run it. So if you get that, your T-cone is probably good and there's a problem with your panel. What is actually happening is if you connect the other half, the T-cone senses overcurrent and shuts off, and this is how you got the dark screen. I've considered hacking the T-cone to actually sustain higher current to see what happens, but based on past experience, adventure experience, and whatever you want, I decided to take a different approach. Took the front panel off, and here's what I found here. I don't know how well you can see it, but here the panel is cracked. The edge of it is cracked. This was all covered with a blue tape that goes all the way to here and continues further. When I pull it, it just went all the way up to here. But this is my point of interest. This is where the panel is being supported by a little leg. There's one here on this side and one on the other side. And there's just a small crack here. Now, I'm not sure, and I don't know whether this is something that has happened when the TV was in use. It just happened because of the weight that the panel was putting onto here. Or it's something that happened when I was trying to dismount it. That's not very likely, but it's not. And I'm also not sure how would that result in an overcurrent anywhere. Anyhow, what I ended up doing, and this is the funniest part, I couldn't measure overcurrent in any of the ICs, which is normally the reason why things like that happen. There are small ICs here that are the address registers for the individual cells in the LCD panel, and there are 4 of them per half. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a just very small and very tiny IC here. That's not serviceable unless you have very expensive machine. You can get this whole part. You can do the bonding on the LCD, and that I don't know anybody who does it. I know, of course, factories do that, but I personally don't know anybody who can do that. Anyhow, long story short, what I've done in the past was cut the very end of the screen, eventually losing portion in the beginning, or if it's on the right side at the end, and actually then the display still remains usable for things like advertising on the walls or something, or just losing a portion of the display, but it's not fatal. So what I did here is I took a knife and I started cutting very slowly, one by one, while the TV was off, of course. And in the first few wires that were cut, nothing changed on the screen. And then I continued, and eventually it ended up here. Believe it or not, it looks like the whole screen is working. I have no explanation at this time as to why. Maybe I'm losing something, maybe I'm losing refresh rate. I expected to be losing portion of the screen, as I said, based on past experience, but I did power it on with an HDMI source signal, and it seems to be working just fine. I'm not saying that this will work for you as well. I don't know whether it needs to be cut here or here or here or here, which of the chips is bad, if any. I have another IC, another TV that's waiting for me with the exact same defect. I still haven't opened it. I may make another video. I know the problem with the other one is on the other side, the other half of the TV, because for me, this is the half of the TV that was staying stable, and this is the half of the TV that was bad. But anyhow, the solution was, believe it or not, and I know this sounds like the solution from people who tell you to put their boards in a microwave to heat them, and I'm telling you, do not put boards in a microwave. And I'm not telling you to cut the edges unless you're out of any other options and you're about to throw the TV anyway, which is what I was about to do. I put a tape on it so that pressure or pulling doesn't, make further cuts, because I'm sure I've lost something on the TV. I will put it all together and then play more with it. For the time being, it just works. And I hope this helps people to spare experimenting with T-cones and mainboards and whatnot. Apparently there is some problem with those, because again, I've seen other TVs with the exact same issue, and I have another one just waiting for me. And I will go to it as soon as I put this one together and run through some more testing in a more convenient environment that I can put larger picture and see the frame rate. Hope that helps. Good luck and happy hacking.